I don't think that we give ourselves a lot of flexibility in how we think about money. I think we have this all or nothing mentality, and I'm including myself in this. There's no middle ground. Either we're doing nothing or we're doing everything. And we don't allow room for us to kind of tweak things to how we like to do things, how our lives work. I fell into this when I had debt back in the day. If you didn't know, I had like $27,000 worth of credit card debt. And it came from a variety of things. It came from a wedding that we couldn't afford that we put on a credit card, came from some medical bills, some school expenses, furniture for our first place because we didn't have anything really. And it all kind of just piled up on us. And it was probably the most stressful time of my life I could think of because at the time we were probably only bringing home maybe 40,000, 45,000, like actual money coming into our bank account over the year. And it's like, look, we got more than half of our income sitting here in credit card debt. And that stress kind of piled up on me. And I was like, you know what? We got to fix this. We got to do something. We can't keep living this way. So I said, you know what? I'm going to this budget. I'm just cutting everything up. I'm slashing it up. And I made a budget that was extremely tight. It cut all the fun out of everything we were doing. And, we over time, we had to tweak it. And the first few budgets I made didn't really work because it was too extreme. But we eventually started to make some progress and we started to pay down our debt and saw movement on those credit card statements when they showed up. But the thing I think about is I was burnt out. Like I was tired. I was so tired of not doing anything. And it made it really hard to keep going, like month after month, living in such a tight fashion like this. And the thing when I think about this is that I wish I did differently was I wish I had a little more flexibility, a little more wiggle room for us to kind of enjoy something. Because I mean, I could have put like a couple of nights out into the budget. That wouldn't have been crazy because here's the thing. We would just break and spend money and just stress about the fact that now the budget's all messed up and we made this big credit card payment. We got to buy groceries next week, but we done accidentally. We purposely went out and now it's all blown up in our faces. And it's like, you knew you were going to do that. You could have just planned for it, but it felt like I can't do that. I have to be all in. I can't give myself any room, any flexibility. And it's a hard way to live. It's a really hard way to live. And what I'm thinking about here, what I want to leave you with at the end of this unpopped kernel session is, this is a long journey. We will have to be managing our money for a very long time. This isn't like, you do really good for a couple of years and you don't have to do anything else. No, it's an ongoing thing. We're always going to have to budget in some form. And that's just part of life. Maybe some parts of your life you're a little more strict, more stringent, more detailed in your budgeting. And then other times you're a little more free flowing, kind of just checking in here and there. But you always are going to have to do something. You got to be mindful of all this stuff. You can't just let things just, go haywire unless you're just so rich that it does not matter. You're probably not listening to this if you're so rich that it doesn't matter how much money you spend. But I want you to keep this in mind. We're going to have to keep doing this for years and years and years. So just be kind to yourself in the process. Leave yourself some room for the things you enjoy. It doesn't have to be luxury. It doesn't have to be a lot of money, but we can find joy in even the smallest expenses. So don't be so tough on yourself that you can't even allow yourself to enjoy something. So some of you, that may not be a problem at all. But if some of you are like me back in the day, I needed to hear something like this because I couldn't allow myself to enjoy some things.